If the writers of Hocus Pocus 2 want to put a spell on us again, we have a few suggestions for the script.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, but we are.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things we need to see in Hocus Pocus 2. For this list, we're looking at the characters, plotlines, and updates we'd love to see in the upcoming magical sequel.
Your wretched little lives have all been cursed because of all the witches working and the worst.
Number 10. Give us cameos from supporting characters. Hocus Pocus was full of entertaining minor characters. The cast included over-the-top bullies, a very thirsty bus driver, and Doug Jones playing the lovable zombie Billy Butcherson.
I've waited centuries to say that.
They all supported an iconic ensemble cast of witches and young heroes. While the movie probably won't have time to bring every single supporting character back, we'd love to see some cameos. After being abducted by the Sanderson sisters, the bullies might have turned their lives around and become cops in Salem. Doug Jones could also make another appearance as Billy, and could that bus driver still be working the same route?
You want my route schedule?
Oh, that would take me in the morning.
No, I wouldn't.
Bringing back these supporting cast members and more in small roles would be an excellent way to suck fans right back in.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is bright.
Number 9. Have Max team up with the Sanderson sisters. This may be a controversial idea, but hear us out. After Max unintentionally brought the Sanderson sisters back to life, the witches repaid the favor by trying to steal his sister's soul. Although Max and the witches spend the night trying to take each other out, maybe it's time for them to bury the hatchet. Everyone's expecting the two sides to clash again, but wouldn't it be more interesting if they teamed up? Imagine if Max and Winnie had to pick up a bat and a broom to unite against a new enemy.
You little pest. I've had enough of you.
Could they overcome their checkered past, or would they end up at each other's throats? The only way to find out is for them to make an unholy alliance.
Now you have no choice!
Number 8. Diversify the cast. Even the most hardcore Hocus Pocus fans have to admit the original cast wasn't that diverse.
Warning off any who might make the witches come back to life.
People of color barely have any screen time or dialogue, and there's also no representation for anyone on the LGBTQ+ spectrum. While the lack of diversity might have been a product of the times, there's no excuse for that in the modern day.
Well, Winnie, how time flies, huh?
When you're dead.
The sequel's cast should be as colorful as one of the Sanderson sisters' outfits. Prioritizing diversity would allow longtime fans of different backgrounds to finally see representations of themselves in Salem. Fortunately, there's already a piece of Hocus Pocus media that offers more diversity, which we'll get to in a moment. Number 7. Follow the sequel novel's plot. In 2018, author A.W. Jantho released the book Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. The plot of the sequel follows Allison and Max's daughter, Poppy, and her diverse friend group. Despite both her parents and aunt encountering witches, she doesn't believe in magic.
Danny, this is the girl in my dreams.
So take her to the movies like a normal person.
Danny!
So, when Poppy's crush Isabella becomes interested in the Sanderson sisters, Poppy has no problem going to the magical house.
So let's light the sucker and meet the old broads.
Unfortunately, this leads to the return of the witchy trio. Since this novel became a New York Times bestseller, we know it's a story worth telling. In addition, following this plot would give Disney a queer lead character. The novel's combination of nostalgia and fresh new concepts would form a strong foundation for the movie sequel.
We can do better than that, I think. You see what we have.
Perfect. As usual.
Number 6. Add more magical creatures. During Hocus Pocus, we learned that witches, ghosts, and zombies all exist within the universe.
It says form a circle of salt to protect from zombies, witches, and old boyfriends.
Their appearances made us wonder if there are more magical creatures that we never got to see. Could there be vampires lurking around Salem? Are werewolves hiding in the nearby forest? Do we have to worry about evil leprechauns? The sequel could easily introduce one or more of these magical creatures into the canon. Given the tone of the original movie, the creatures would probably act less like the creatures in Twilight and more like the creatures in What We Do in the Shadows.
It's settled then. We'll all do our jobs, starting with a certain deacon.
I will do my dishes! Good to do that!
No matter how intimidating they are, we'd love to see Hocus Pocus expand their universe with more magical beings. Number 5. Get Omri Katz to return as Max.
You don't like it here?
Oh, the leaves are great, but I don't know. Just all this Halloween stuff.
Everyone's favorite candlelighting virgin Max was played by Omri Katz, who brought a lot of charm, humor, and energy to the lead role. After his breakout performance, he only appeared in a couple of TV shows before retiring from acting. Although Katz hasn't performed on camera since 2002, we bet he still has the chops to play his cult classic role again in the sequel.
Give me one more chance.
While there are plenty of capable actors that could step into the role of an older Max, the original actor will always be our first choice.
You saved my life.
Well, I had to. I'm your big brother.
I love you, jerkface.
I love you too.
If Katz is asked to come back, we hope that Disney could persuade him to come out of retirement. Number 4. Introduce more witches to Salem. A couple of lines in the first movie confirmed the Sanderson sisters had a mother.
We are witches. We are evil. Evil. What would Mother say if she could see us like this? Mother.
Since all 3 siblings are magical, this implied their mother and members of their extended family might be witches too. If the sequel wants to raise the stakes, it could bring in more Sandersons or a new trio of magical women. The writers could also go all out and have an entire coven terrorize the town.
Dost thou comprehend?
Well, you explained it beautifully, Winnie. The way you started out with the adventure part, and then you sort of slowly...
Explain what?
Come! We fly!
Bringing in more witches would allow for the story to branch out in new directions and give an opportunity for more actresses to become cult favorites. American Horror Story alone contains more than a dozen actresses who can play witches. Let's bring in a few to cause mayhem in Salem.
The next task before our candidates is transmutation. Tangura.
Number 3. A big musical number. One of the first scenes that comes to mind when you think of Hocus Pocus is the iconic musical number. When Max attempts to expose the Sanderson sisters at a costume party,
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
Winnie leads the sisters in singing I Put a Spell on You to put the partygoers in a trance.
I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My planet fell on you.
The trio's energetic vocals hypnotize us every time we watch the scene. Hopefully the sequel can knock us off our feet again with a musical number of its own. The ideal song would be another classical hit whose title contains a really obvious magical pun. And a slow acoustic cover won't do either. The musical number should be as upbeat and flamboyant as the one Midler leads. Number 2. Make Poppy Dennison a lead character. If the writers decide to come up with an original story, we hope they incorporate Poppy into the main cast. As we mentioned before, Poppy's as reckless and skeptical of witches as her father Max was.
Granted that you guys here in Salem are all into these black cats and witches and stuff.
She would be a great audience surrogate for reintroducing us to this magical world.
Oh, come on, make a believer out of me.
And seeing as Poppy's related to 3 of the main cast, she could catch up with the original characters in a very organic way. We also really want to see how she would fare against the Sanderson sisters.
We must continue with our spell now that our little guest of honor has arrived.
Would Poppy try to defeat them like her parents did? Or would she have to come up with a brand new plan of attack? Poppy's plot possibilities are practically limitless. Alright, we've basically written the sequel, so let's get going on that Disney Plus production, huh? Before we summon our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Whoa! Check out the new cross trainers.
Cool. Let me try them on.
You're going to turn me into one of those fat, useless, contented house cats.
You betcha.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Have Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker return.
Sisters, we have been gone 300 years.
Well, Winnie, how time flies, huh?
When you're dead.
We're pretty sure fans would revolt if the trio of actresses that played the Sanderson sisters didn't return.
We're home.
Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker should all appear during the course of the film. Ideally, they would all reprise their original roles.
Oh, you're right. You're always right. I don't know how
It's
you...
my curse. That and you two. Get off me, you thundering oafs!
However, if they're unable to become the Sanderson sisters again, they should definitely cameo as new characters. While the trio has gone back and forth on whether they would even appear in a sequel, recent interviews suggest that they're all on board to come back.
I hope their Disney Plus is a big success, and I hope we get to do it because she is, of course, one of my favorite characters.
Whether they're on the screen for 50 minutes or 50 seconds, we can't imagine a Hocus Pocus sequel without these 3 actresses slaying on the screen.
We shall be back, and the lives of all the children shall be mine!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.